This isn't just trade rumors anymore, because if the Eagles are already thinking about life after A.J. Brown, that means something bigger is happening behind the scenes. You don't scout replacements unless you're preparing for a real possibility. And now the question isn't if something could happen, it's whether Philadelphia is already one step ahead of it. This might be a bigger problem than anyone expected, because the Philadelphia Eagles might not just be thinking about trading A.J. Brown, they might already be planning what comes after. And that's where this starts to feel real, because it's one thing to hear rumors. It's another thing entirely when a team starts preparing for life without its best receiver. Right now, the Eagles are in a strange spot. They're still contenders, still built to win now. And yet, the noise around A.J. Brown isn't going away. Trade whispers, internal tension, high asking price, nothing confirmed, but nothing quiet either. And here's the part that matters. If Philadelphia actually moves him, they have to replace him. You don't just remove a WR1 from a championship offense and expect everything to hold. Not with Jalen Hurts under center, not with expectations this high. So what do? They already brought in Marquise Hollywood Brown. Explosive? Yes. Game-changing WR1? Not quite. That's not a replacement. That's a complementary piece. And this is where it gets interesting, because now the conversation is shifting toward the draft. Specifically, one name. Omar Cooper Jr., a rising receiver out of Indiana, big, physical, productive, nearly 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns, national champion, and more importantly, a player some analysts are starting to compare to Deebo Samuel. Not in style exactly, but in impact. Versatility, strength after the catch, ability to create yards on his own, the kind of player you build around. And suddenly, this doesn't feel like a random draft idea anymore. It feels like a contingency plan. Because if the Eagles are seriously evaluating Cooper at pick number 23, that tells you something. It tells you they're at least considering the possibility that A.J. Brown won't be there. But here's the problem. Replacing A.J. Brown isn't just about stats. It's about presence. Defenses adjust because of him. Coverage shifts because of him. He changes how the game is played before the ball is even snapped. You don't just draft that. You don't just recreate that overnight. And that's the risk Philadelphia is quietly staring at, because if they move Brown and miss on the replacement, everything changes. The offense, the identity, even the margin for error. And this is where it starts to feel like a gamble, not a rebuild, a gamble. Because the Eagles aren't starting over, they're trying to stay on top. And making a move like this, that can either extend your window or slam it shut. So now the question isn't just whether they can replace A.J. Brown, it's whether they're actually ready to find out what happens if they try.